Coming up on Unpeeled, we may not be in Barbie world, but Barbie continues to dominate our screens.
The industry prepares for a more profitable future following the end of the SAG-AFTRA strike.
College basketball is in full swing and the madness has already begun.
And a show originating in Syracuse begins previews on Broadway tonight. All that and more Unpeeled starts right now.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Unpeeled. I'm Lily Evans.
And I'm Anastasia Frazier. We start our show with an exciting update on a female entrepreneur.
Kim Kardashian is GQ's Man of the Year. The business mogul is known for her billion-dollar companies and is now being honored as the official Tycoon of the Year, gracing the latest cover of GQ.
This decision comes after her athletic line Skims became the NBA's official underwear brand earlier this year. In the interview, Kardashian spoke openly about her struggles of being a mother within her public divorce with Kanye West. This edition of GQ comes out on November 28th. And he maybe just can, but he may just be getting a Grammy. The Barbie movie soundtrack has been nominated 11 times in 7 categories, including Ryan Gosling's I'm Just Ken. The Best New Artist category is full of Unpeeled favorites such as Noah Kahan, Gracie Abrams, and Ice Spice.
SZA had the most nominations with 9, all coming from her album SOS. The singer was also recognized at the Femme It Forward Give Her Flowers Gala this past weekend. The organization honors musicians for their mentorship in helping the next generation of artists.
Lily, there are so many key aspects of this year's Grammy nominations that we need to break down. First, not only are women artists dominating all of the categories, but there are even 3 new categories created this year. We first have Best African Music Performance, Best Alternative Jazz Album, and Best Pop Dance Recording. And another key aspect we need to mention is how Tupac is nominated 30 years after his death.
Yeah, it's crazy. This actually isn't the first time that he's been nominated for a Grammy, but fans are really hoping that this will be the time that he pulls out a win. And I know we've talked a lot about SZA. It's actually been 25 years since a black artist has won Female Album of the Year, so it's really a lot of fans are hoping that she pulls out the win this year, and I do too. I mean, she's the best.
I'm definitely one of those fans as well. I mean, 9 nominations is an incredible feat in itself, and the SOS album it's so well deserved. She just does an incredible job. I love that album on a personal note, and it could be interesting to see how the whole Taylor Swift, if she's going to win Midnights for Album of the Year, she'll also be breaking a record if she does in fact win that award.
I mean, I honestly wouldn't be surprised, but we can also expect a lot of really great performances at the Grammys as well, so it's going to be a lot to look forward to. Well, after a 2-week trial in New York, Robert De Niro's production company, Canal, was found liable for gender discrimination and retaliation. The company had to pay $1.3 million to the actor's former assistant, Graham Chase Robinson. This came after she initially requested $12 million for mental health damages.
De Niro was not found personally liable after being accused of subjecting his assistant to sexually inappropriate behavior. The actor admitted to the allegations that he had asked Chase Robinson to scratch his back, but said he was never abusive. Her lawyers were, quote, delighted that the jury returned a verdict in Chase Robinson's favor. And we've talked a lot about this year already, how in the past few weeks, entertainment industry employees are not tolerating any kind of disrespect in the workplace. But this story actually begins way back in 2019, where De Niro's company actually sued Robinson first under the claim that she was stealing from the company. So it's been an ongoing battle between the two for the past 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, it all definitely seems to be coming to a head right now with the trial going on. And De Niro was actually only in court for 3 days out of the 2-week trial, but reports do say that he had a very intense demeanor and was definitely, speaking back to the judge to kind of defend his name. And yeah, like you said, it's yet another example of these celebrities simply not tolerating being mistreated in the workplace.
Right. And an infamous trial is being brought from the courtroom to the stage. Awkward Productions has announced the opening of Gwyneth Goes Skiing this December in London.
The 90-minute show is a comedy about Gwyneth Paltrow's trial after a ski incident in Utah. She was accused of skiing out of control but was deemed not guilty in March. The show will incorporate an interactive element allowing the audience to serve as the jury members.
Wow.
Weird. And let's finally discuss new movies. Earlier this week, Disney released the Inside Out 2 trailer. It introduces main character Riley to the emotion Anxiety, who will be voiced by Maya Hawke. It is set to release on June 14th, 2024.
And while you anxiously await that film, this Friday we are coming to the tree with the release of the Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The film stars Tom Blythe as President Snow and gives viewers a backstory on President Snow's rise to power. I'm a huge Hunger Game fan, but it's really just a big week for prequels all around and sequels. It's also important to mention Rachel Zegler is the new face of this Hunger Games franchise, and her co-star Blythe and her have been blowing up all over social media on my TikTok page. I know I've been watching them. Their chemistry seems incredible, both behind the scenes and on stage, so I'm really excited to see how this young Snow character gets his villain origin backstory.
Yeah, I am too. Like you, I'm definitely a huge Hunger Games fan, so I cannot wait for this movie. It's been almost a decade since the last Hunger Games movie came out, so we're definitely itching for some new content, absolutely. But Inside Out 2, I've definitely seen a lot of stuff on TikTok about this personification of the anxiety character. A lot of people are really relating to it, this little like orange, crazy-haired dude, and I was like, yeah, that is what anxiety would look like.
Like
right?
Yes.
Right, so that, even though the film doesn't come out till next year, it's already generating a lot of buzz on social media, as is Hunger Games. I mean, the song for the movie was written by Olivia Rodrigo, so lots of different ways to market these new films.
That's right, and we are so excited to be watching them in theaters.
Absolutely. And when we return, our industry reporter Riley Underwood is here to discuss the impacts of the new SAG-AFTRA deal is having on the entertainment industry.
And our pop culture reporter Riley Lucetta discusses how fans and actors have reacted to the news. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back in 2 minutes.
Here's to the straggly ones, the first ones. Hey, I look good with this ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. The itchy ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones. And the absolutely filthy ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
Last Wednesday marked the end of the longest SAG-AFTRA strike in history, and the industry is already seeing the implications of the deal. Our industry reporter Riley Underwood is here to break down how the new deal looks. Riley, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I'm excited to get right into this. So can you give our viewers at home a little bit of a backstory on the recap of the strike, and also what were the actors fighting for?
Well, they were fighting for a higher wages, but also to regulate AI, that's artificial intelligence, because what the studios were about to start doing before the contract came into place was they were going to take the actors and extras' faces and paste them into other projects without properly compensating them. That obviously is a big deal. There was another issue that included residuals for streaming as well, and what a residual is basically whenever an actor appears on TV, on television as scheduled, they get a check in the mail. And kind of like in Seinfeld when Jerry was cashing in those 12-cent checks for the super terrific happy hour, that's what's happening. But with streaming, they can't really track those numbers, so the actors weren't getting compensated as they'd like.
And did everything pan out for the actors? And what is this impact of the new deal?
Well, there was some differing points of view. One point was the wages starting in July of 2024, a total of an 11% increase, so that was a good thing for everyone. They cleared up the AI situation. Some question marks still remain over the residuals, but here's what Seth Meyers had to say about the situation.
SAG-AFTRA, congratulations to every worker who organizes and gets the deal they deserve. Well done.
Yeah, but not everyone was happy. A lot of people were saying that it was the famous actors, the already celebrities were benefiting, and the common actor not as much. Here's what one voice actor had to say.
This isn't what we've been fighting for. A lot of the stuff they have been able to get, I mean, it actively protects, I think, in some way, celebrities. But how is this helping me?
Wow, that was great to hear from both of them. And how are we already seeing the effects of the new deal?
Well, the effects are already being shown as studios can now put out trailers and get to work on new productions, movies, TV shows. So you're going to be seeing those results soon. And also, California, they lost $6.5 billion during this strike. So Southern California and the fans really happy to get this deal done.
Yes, they are. Oh my gosh, thank you, Riley, for being here and breaking that all down. Now, Lily, what do you have for us?
Well, thank you, Riley. It is so exciting that after 118 days, actors can finally discuss releases of their projects. Well, here to continue the discussion on the end of the strike and tell us how celebrities have reacted is another Riley, our pop culture reporter, Riley Lucetta.
Thank you, Lily. The actor strike is finally over, and you know what that means: the return of red carpet events, late night talk show appearances, and my personal favorite, the BuzzFeed puppy interviews. Many actors have expressed their content with the deal online. For example, Zac Efron has said, "We are so happy we were able to come to an agreement. Let's get back to work," he says. And Jamie Lee Curtis wrote, "Perseverance really pays off" on Instagram. After months of not being able to promote projects, actors and studios alike are excited to be able to discuss their work. Timothée Chalamet was the first union actor to host SNL amid the actors' strike. As the strike ended on Thursday, he promoted his new film, Wonka. Let's see what he had to say.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of shameless self-promotion. It's okay, I can say that my new film Wonka is out in theaters December 15th. Fandango, keyword, Hugh Grant.
As you can see, actors are very excited about the resolution. It has led to publicity for projects that have already been released as well. The new Marvel film, The Marvels, which came out on Friday, had the worst MCU opening of all time. The film's actors are attempting to make up for last time post the film's theatrical release. Brie Larson made an impromptu appearance on The Tonight Show over the weekend, and Iman Vellani appeared at a surprise LA screening of the movie. Other movies have had a similar approach, like the comedy drama The Holdovers. Studio executives have said, "We are telling talent on Thursday to post. So they have been. Even films that came out months ago, such as Oppenheimer and Barbie, are encouraging lead nominees actors Cillian Murphy and Ryan Gosling to continue this campaign. Overall, everyone is so excited about this for the entertainment industry. Back to you, Lily.
Thank you so much, Riley. Syracuse artists rocked the stage this weekend, and we have an exclusive interview in 2 minutes. You won't want to miss it.
Okay, wait guys, everyone be quiet. So basically what's gonna happen is that Anastasia
Hi, my name is Sadie Miller.
My name is Luke Brady. I go by St. Luke. So this one I started with this guitar lick.
And over the weekend, University Union and Lambda Sigma Upsilon collaborated to host the Empire State of Mind concert in Goldstein Auditorium. Here to give us the recap on the student DJ performances is our Syracuse events reporter, Maura Vaughn.
Thanks, Anastasia, and it's good to be here. And you know what? It feels like I'm Unpeeled resident concert coverage recapper, and the Empire State of Mind concert is definitely one to recap, with headliners Aaron May and two student DJs, Valentonio and Waffle Flaffa, putting on an exciting show, as well as getting their music out there in the world. And University Union and Lambda Sigma Upsilon put together an opportunity for student DJs and artists to perform alongside headliners like Aaron May to get their music and personas out there in the Syracuse scene. And to quote Valentonio, student DJ, "I feel like I've been interested in music pretty much my whole life. It's just something that's been constant from when I was a child. I remember portable CD players and everything my dad used to burn songs on to really give them to me. And I've always loved music," he says, "and I got to do one of his true passions." And the success of the Bandersnatch concert series really speaks for itself, as the past performers trying to grow traction as artists ended up being some pretty big names in the music scene, such as Chance the Rapper in 2013, Amir Massa in 2014. So who knows, maybe Valentonio is your next Chance the Rapper. So naturally, we had to know where he drew his inspiration from. And to quote him, he says, "Carl Cox is his inspiration. Every event that man does is he always pulls out some of the best music, the best dance music he's ever heard. And it's very simple. That always gets everyone moving." And University Union continues to put on concerts throughout the year, so definitely be on the lookout for Mayfest and the spring Juice Jam lineups in the future. And as Unpeeled's unspoken concert recapper, I'll be sure to give you the front row seat into the music and the vibes. Now, leaving the stage and heading to the court, rumor has it Lillian has a college basketball recap in studio.
Thanks, Maura. And you're right, college basketball is back, and as always, the first week is a thrill. The top team for women's basketball didn't have the start they wanted, and Michigan State was rocked by an underdog. To give us all the information on standings, scores, and upsets is our sports reporter, Lillian Northrup. Lillian, so happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
I love talking sports. It's not something I get to do often, but I actually really like to do it, so
okay,
no better
great.
person than you. So who are the top teams to start this season for women's and men's basketball?
Yeah, let's start with LSU for the women's side. They have Angel Reese and Flaudine Johnson, but they also got Haley Van List, so they're looking really good. And on top of that, for Iowa, they have Caitlin Clark, player of the year last year. They're super hungry. And then UConn, Paige Beckers, we didn't see much for last year. She was out with a full year injury, so she's back. Women's teams are looking good. Over on the men's side, Kansas's head coach had a pretty bad health risk last year. He was out for the postseason, but he's back, and they think the team's looking better. They're the first ranking. We have Zach Edey, player of the year for Purdue, but they were out early last year too. So overall, really exciting. Happy to see the teams back, and I love November. It's basketball season.
Basketball season is back, baby. Well, what were some of the biggest upsets that happened last week?
Gotta start with Michigan State and JMU. They did not see it coming, but JMU showed up to play. They had a few seconds at the end of the game to get a three-pointer up, but Michigan State just couldn't put it in, so JMU went home with a win. That's what happens in sports. On top of that, I just said LSU for the women's side, they're number 1 ranked, or they were at the time. They played number 20, Colorado, and Colorado showed to play. They won by 14 points, so overall not great. Duke and Arizona, they played last week as well. Arizona was the underdog. They came home with a win. So just like the tournament from last year, a lot of upsets in week 1.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, what are some of the big games this week, and has anything crazy already happened?
Yeah, so already last night, Michigan State and Duke for the men's side, both coming off those upsets looking for wins. Duke pulled through. Michigan State, not so much. So they fell down to the 18th rank. That's how quick things can change up so fast. And then we had Utah versus Baylor. Baylor, 21 seed, they took it home. Utah lost. I mean, it was just crazy. People are unexpecting it. And then tomorrow night, we have UConn versus Maryland. Great teams, offensive and defensive. And I have to mention it, Syracuse last night went down 24 points against Colgate. It's the second largest comeback in ACC history.
Really?
They came back for the win. They are playing 7-seed Tennessee next week, so not going to be too. You never know. I don't want to say bad things, but we'll see.
For the
That's all for basketball right now, though.
Thank you,
it's pretty
Lillian,
great.
so much. Well, when we return, our Broadway reporter Aman Mahdi tells us about a new show taking on the Broadway stage.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner!
Go. Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family. We're the family. Come on. Yeah! Oh, I thought you were on my team. Wait, I don't know. Just...
In the world of Broadway, a musical that started in Syracuse Stage has made it to Broadway, How to Dance in Ohio. Here to break down the history and journey of this musical is our very own Broadway beat reporter, Aman Mahdi.
Thanks, Lily. Yes, How to Dance in Ohio has finally made it to Broadway. The show will began here at Syracuse Stage. Will begin on Broadway on December 10th at the Belasco Theater, but the previews will begin tonight. But let's turn back time a little bit and ask ourselves, where did this all begin? Well, actually, it started right behind me at the Syracuse Stage. How to Dance in Ohio began on Syracuse Stage last September, but unfortunately the run was cut short after 2 weeks following multiple cases of COVID. But reviews said the show must go on, and it certainly did, with the premiere less than a month away. How to Dance in Ohio goes through the lives of 7 autistic teenagers who are on the autistic spectrum. The show will premiere on stage soon. The musical is set in a group therapy program, that goes through the reality of existing in the world as an autistic individual. This ultimately prepares these young adults for a spring formal dance. The 7 autistic actors will reprise their roles as they did here at the Syracuse Stage. This will be the first time in Broadway history that 7 autistic actors will take the lead in a Broadway musical. So much so that one of the actors, Amelia Faye, breaks it down for us and said, quote, "When people come to the show, I want them to see how beneficial it is to just talk about autism for everyone that's involved. Autism isn't something to fear. Well, the Post-Standard newspaper seems far from fear. In fact, their recent review on the show, they said, quote, exhilarating, groundbreaking, and celebratory. The musical you talk about for the rest of your life. So I don't know about you, Anastasia, but I'm very excited to see how this musical pans out because it's going to be a good one.
Well, I am just as excited as you are. That is such an important story. Thank you for breaking that down for us. And we're going to have to get tickets to see that. But from the stage to the screen, despite the esports industry being worth over $1 billion, companies and organizations are struggling to afford the cost of running an esports team. Our very own esports reporter, Nathaniel Cunningham, is here to tell us about the first ever esports winter. Nathaniel, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Love having you here. And I have to ask you, a couple weeks ago, you were saying how big the esports world is, but can you give us a little bit of the inside of the industry and what's going down right now?
Yeah, I think it's really important to understand these headlines. They're not telling the whole truth, right? This is more of a winter, like you described. This is just kind of a stagnant point in the industry. They're not going down. It's not a true downfall. The esports industry is worth over $1 billion. There's a whole lot there. It just is not in nearly as big of a boom as it was just a couple of years ago. Its growth rate early, pre-pandemic, we can call it, was around 30%. And then during the pandemic, it increased up to 60%. So now just because that growth rate's underneath about 15%, people are like, oh no, esports is dying. It's not dying. It still needs it's a lot of credit.
Well, thank you for clearing that up for us. And how is this affecting the actual people in the industry?
Yeah, it's important to realize that there is an effect for the actual people. You're talking about a whole bunch of people that have been laid off. 20% of companies and the employees there are being laid off, and a big part of that is due to the pandemic. So, but you can also, and I think it's more important to see that it affects the actual players, the people that are there. And you can just take a listen. There was a professional esports player. His name's Jason Doty. At 16 years old, he was thought to have been the best Rainbow Six Siege player in the country. Then he retired at 21. So he kind of he put it into words, and just take a listen to what he had to say regarding the whole thing.
Let's do that.
I had a bad stage following up SI 2022, and that's when it really even hit me too. Like maybe I should just call it quits.
You can kind of see there that he's just like, this pressure. It's a lot of pressure on these guys, especially at a young age, and to go out there and do that, they kind of had to get it up.
Well, thank you for breaking that down and joining us here tonight. And moving on into our next segment, we are going to be talking about an actor who climbed the Empire State Building. We have more on the Joker star reaching new heights when we return.
When I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
The first person to legally climb the Empire State Building is Jared Leto. To promote his brand 30 Seconds to Mars, the actor and musician scaled 18 floors of the iconic building last Thursday, as his new tour starts in March of next year.
Leto is known to have been an avid climber, although this was a major accomplishment regardless. Leto said in a statement, quote, "The building is a testament of all the things that can be done in the world if we put our minds to it." His most recent album, It's the End of the World, But It's a Beautiful Day, helped inspire this feat. This was completely in celebration of his tour, and as we said, for himself and the dreams that he's aspired to, and just a really big inspiration to everyone. I mean, this has been all over the news. SNL even mentioned it, and Leto himself said on the Today Show how he loved looking out at the sunrise when he was on the building, and how the building itself, the Empire State Building, symbolized the city that made his dreams come true.
Yeah, that's definitely so sweet. And I mean, we were talking about this a little bit before show. Anastasia, would you climb the Empire State Building?
I would love to. I love doing like skydiving, cliff jumping, all of those types of things. I would love to climb the Empire State Building.
See,
would you go with me?
I feel like I could jump off of things, but when it comes to like physically climbing them, I don't think I could do that because it's just like, it's too slow.
I think we should try to go together. And
can we like go skydiving together instead? I think that'd be better.
All right, we'll keep you guys updated on that.
Better for us. And even though we are reaching new heights, unfortunately, that is all the time we have with you tonight.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to follow us on our socials at Unpeeled_Syracuse on Instagram and at CitrusTV on X. I'm Anastasia Frazier.
And I'm Lily Evans. We'll see you in 2 weeks on Wednesday at 8 p.m. From all of us at Unpeeled, happy Thanksgiving, Unpeelers.